Oh yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to reflection on Hangout of the Apes, where we reflect on the Tim Burton reimagining of Planet of the Apes. Oh god. In with the release of I'm joined today by Jack McCullough and Harry Thomas. And today, as I said, we're reflecting on Tim Burton's one and only Planet of the Apes fuckfest. That's a word. So, ladies first. Jack, what do you think of Tim Burton's reimagining of Planet of the Apes? Just to confirm, it's not a remake. Not a remake. Reimagining. Is that question?
Yeah, Tim Burton's shit House of the Apes. I mean, what more can I say? I mean, it's just it's ape shit. I mean, that's all you can really say about it. I mean, it's just a pile of fucking ape shit. I mean, you got Marky Mark, Mark all the fucking acting of a Wahlberg, in this film, and I mean, the film is just a complete another disgrace to the Planet of the Apes franchise. I mean, Ollie said it, and I kind of agree with him. I don't really count this as part of the Planet of the Apes. I don't really get. I mean, it's not connected with the others.
No.
I mean, this film, I think it came out about 30 years after Battle for the Planet of the Apes. So
30 years after anybody actually cared.
Yeah, 30 years after Planet of the Apes died out. And, Tim Burton, I think, is a good director. I mean,
on some occasions.
Well, yeah, for the most part. I mean, he made the Batman '89 film, which I like, and Batman Returns, which, I know it's controversial, but that's my favorite Batman film, and probably my favorite.
A lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, Batman Returns, and it's actually my favorite superhero film of all time.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, so I mean, he has done some good things. I mean, he also did Edward Scissorhands, and he's done a lot of work with Johnny Depp. He also did that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake, which I know a lot of people are sort of mixed on. I know Ollie thinks it's crap, but I actually I like it. I'm going to admit, I think it's okay. Apart from, I mean, Johnny Depp is terrible in that movie, but I actually like the movie. But I mean, Tim Burton here, he took on the Planet of the Apes franchise, and
why?
Because he's fucking ape. I mean,
yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is just so totally unnecessary. I mean, he went in there with the idea of reimagining Planet of the Apes.
Reimagining.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, really? I mean, the franchise, it's been dead for 30 years, and then Tim Burton's like, oh, I'm going to reboot Planet of the Apes. Well, fucking done. I mean, he was also going to make that Superman Lives with Nicolas Cage, which I'm glad that never got off the ground, because that just looked absolutely fucking terrible.
I guess because he couldn't leech off of that, he decided to leech off Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, so he decides to sort of stamp his gothic sort of vision on this movie. And, I mean, first of all, I mean, the plot here is just completely...
Plot? Sorry, I wasn't aware there was a plot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get the story of this. I mean, it starts off on this space station. We're introduced to Mark Wahlberg. And, Mark Wahlberg, I mean, he's a decent actor. I mean, he's actually...
If it helps you, Jack, I can explain the story for you.
Yeah, I will destroy them. I will destroy the humans.
It's like, basically, astronaut crash lands, gets captured, they break out, big fight, boom, then it ends.
Basically, the whole movie is about going ape shit, and that's behind camera and in front of camera. I mean, Mark Wahlberg. I mean, like I said, I mean, he's actually a decent actor. I mean, he has given good performances. He was in The Departed, and he was actually very good in that, and he was in Ted as well. You know, he's been in quite a few movies, and you know, Mark Wahlberg, when he wants to, can be a good actor, but here he's just.
He's also been in.
I mean, he's rubbish. Yeah, Transformers, which I thankfully haven't seen any of them. Yeah, but I mean, you know, here with Planet of the Apes, he's rubbish. I mean, he's just completely one note. I mean, this is sort of the Charlton Heston character that, you know, this is our replacement for Charlton Heston. You know, come on. I mean, and that whole stuff on the station is really stupid, where he gets the monkey, and then the monkey goes off in the goes off in the pod, and they're losing him through the storm, and he decides to go after them. I mean, it's like, first of all, how many fucking monkeys are on that station? And second of all, would you really risk your life to save a fucking monkey? I mean, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, that whole scene where he decides to go off on the spaceship on his own and go through that storm or whatever it is, that space storm, you know, time vortex thing, whatever it is.
Looking for trouble?
Yeah, I mean, it's just completely stupid. I mean, it's like, it's just a fucking monkey. Leave it, you know. You know, and the film sort of farts its way through from there. I mean, you know, when he lands on the planet, and you just got the apes themselves, and you know, the prosthetics here, they're really weird. I mean, some of the prosthetic is quite good, but some of the prosthetic is really bad. Like, that scene is ridiculous when Mark Wahlberg arrives and the apes are chasing him through
Jack,
the.
sorry to interrupt you. Just worthy to mention that, you know, when he crash lands in the jungle, the set looks so bad. It looks really so obviously studio. It's terrible.
Yeah. No, you expect him to arrive. It's like, in the jungle, the mighty jungle.
Like to find Simba or Aslan living there.
Yeah, it's like it's like the Jungle Book. I'm the king of the swingers now. It's like Tim Roth.
Like as King Louis. I want to be like you.
God, yeah. I mean, yeah, when he arrives, and like that's the scene where like he's being chased by the ape. It's just the apes. It's hilarious, but they're like jumping 50 foot into the air, like like you're just laughing. It's like, oh, am I supposed to be taking this seriously?
Are they superheroes now? What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what the fuck is this, King Kong or some shit like that? Like, you know, I mean, I'm expecting Jack Black to arrive here. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and all that stuff is just pathetic. And then you get to Tim Roth, and I mean, Tim Roth. I mean, the guy, you know.
Wow.
I mean, the guy's a good actor, but he's just he's pathetic here. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing.
He needs a
really.
shave.
He's just so over the top as what's his name? Is that forgettable? I've forgotten his name already.
Fade.
Yeah, he's just pathetic. Like, you know, he's like, I will destroy the humans. Oh, I hate the humans. I mean, he's just such an over the top pantomime.
Cockney accent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, he may as well. You know, he's just like, I will destroy the humans. Like Phil Mitchell. I mean, Grunt on the Planet of the Apes. God, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's awful. Tim Roth is just completely awful, and you know, he's just whole, like, you know, the character's, you know, ambition, you know, to marry Helen the Bottom Carter's character. And oh yeah, talking about Helen the Bottom Carter,
if the director has anything to say about
that. Yeah, I mean, Helen the Bottom Carter here, this is worst performance in any film I've seen. I mean, she's just so over the top here. I mean, everybody in this film, apart from Mark Wahlberg, is over the top, and you know, they're either underacting or they're overacting. And Carter, you know, her I mean, her prosthetic's awful. You know, she's jumping around. She's like, these apes, you know, these humans can't be tortured, mutilated. Like, you know, she's jumping on the walls.
I don't understand what she says.
I mean, she talks like a million miles an hour, and And that scene where she's with Mark Wahlberg, and you have like it's so like laughable as well when you see the apes
Yeah.
and they're wearing like basketball shirts. They're playing basketball and stuff like that, and
Oh.
they're wearing like ordinary like outfits and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because
It's
I
like,
wanted to see the basketball in a Planet of the Apes movie.
yeah, I mean it's like the NBA except it's with apes.
The Ape BA.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, all we need to have is Abraham Lincoln here already. I mean, he should have been the
No.
fucking star. Yeah, but I mean the film sort of, I don't know, like it's a big ape shit. It's sort of it's bigger than King Kong's first dump of the day. Um, it just sort of farts its way along. You've got this really boring scene where like Mark Wahlberg's there and he's serving the apes, and Tim Roth like grabs him. He's like, "I see no soul," and he like opens his mouth, and you're like,
He gets really
"What?"
homophobic with him.
It's just like it's so random, and I mean, it's just really stupid as well. Like when you find out the humans can actually talk, it's like, wait, what?
Wait,
Like the
hang on,
whole
wait. Some of them can, some of them can't. Isn't that how it is?
no, all of them can talk. Apparently, I mean, it's just kind of like you're watching it and you're saying to yourself, what? I mean, the
Yeah,
whole point of the first fucking movie was that the humans have now become like the apes. They
it
can't
completely
talk.
contradicts the whole point of the first one.
Yeah, exactly. The whole point of the first movie is that the humans are basically like apes. They can't talk. And now all of a sudden they can talk. I mean, it's just like, what? I mean, you're just kind of watching it. And you're just like, what the fuck is this, Tim Burton? I mean, you can obviously tell Tim Burton he couldn't give a fucking rat's ass when he was making this movie. I mean, the whole,
Look at me, I'm taking a Planet of the Apes. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
look at me take a big shit all over the franchise, He may as well have just like taken a shit on screen and sold us that as the movie. I mean, because this plot is just absolute bollocks. It's complete bollocks,
Yeah.
and the way like the film sort of drags on from there, and oh Jesus, that ape sex scene.
Oh,
God, like Tim
oh.
Burton's fucking fetish right here. It's a Tim Burton Planet of the Apes porno.
I don't want to see that ape's hairy balls.
Is this Playmate of the Apes or Planet of the Apes?
I don't Playboy of the Apes.
Yeah. And I mean, that scene itself is just so fucking cringy when you got the orangutan and you got that other ape and like she just like jumps on his bed. She's like,
Oh, Harry, don't tell me you like that scene.
Oh no, I fucking hate it. Don't worry.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, maybe Louis likes it. I don't know. Only joking.
yeah, it's
No,
probably the
but
sort of thing Louis would do, to be fair.
yeah, him and Brandon could sort of. Joking. I'm only joking.
So,
I mean, the scene
positive?
itself. Well, hold on, let me finish. Joking.
Sorry.
No, I mean that sex scene is awful. And then all that stuff later is really stupid. And like they try to copy scenes from the first movie. Like you have that ape saying, "Get your filthy hands off me, you damn dirty human!" Like, really?
What
Like,
the fuck?
yeah, and when Tim Roth, he's like, he's overacting to shit. Like he's like, we will destroy the humans and all this like,
Ugh.
pantomime crap. I mean, it's like watching a fucking pantomime. I mean, it's worse than that. It's like watching children's. It's like watching a children's play.
Yeah.
I mean, the acting is.
Besides that, it isn't creepy, which unfortunately Tim Roth is in this movie.
Yeah,
Very creepy.
in the wrong way. I mean, and that sort of romance that he's trying to have with Helm the Bottom Carter, and sort of like he hates Mark Wahlberg's character, and I mean the whole plot. I mean the film, I think it's 2 hours long, maybe a bit longer than that.
Yeah.
2 hours 10 minutes, and it fucking drags. I mean the movie is slower than a fucking snail. I mean it is, I mean it goes as fast as a fucking snail with a fucking brick tied to the end of it. You
Queen
know,
bee of
that's
snails.
how fucking slow this movie is.
Jack, it's the queen bee of snails of this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it's the I mean, it's so fucking slow. And I can't help but snore my way through. I mean, from start to finish. I mean, this would be a well-deserved nap for anybody who just got home. I mean, if you're working a long day at work and you have to come and watch this shit, it's a perfect 2 hours nap time. I mean, this makes Attack of the Clones look watchable. And icing. I mean, the cherry on top of the shit cake just has to be like they just completely butchered the continuity. Like, you've got all the stupid scenes where they're going for the wastelands and the apes are afraid of water and all this crap, and then you meet that orangutan or whatever who sort of wants to sell them out. And I mean, the characters here, they're all shit. I mean, the only one that sort of was decent to look at was the blonde girl. I mean, she was fit. I mean, she was the only thing that held my interest.
Yeah, for 2 reasons.
Yeah, for 2 reasons there. But I mean, apart from that, you may as well just wipe your arse with this film. I mean, that's what Tim Burton did. He just wiped his arse with the shitty script. I mean,
the final.
I mean,
battle.
yeah. I mean, we'll get to that in a minute. But I mean, just the whole scope of the film. Like, I mean, it's a toilet that's been, flushed too many times, and the lever's stuck. The shit is coming to the top. Yeah. I mean, it's a toilet that's blocked. That you can't quite pull the lever.
It's a load of furballs stuffed down the same toilet.
Yeah, there's like turds coming out of there. There's ape shit. There's monkey shit. There's all types of shit. There's Tim Burton shit. I mean, it's stinking out. There's a big fucking. It smells worse than a stinky cheese. It's, I mean, there's literally shit pouring down the stairs. It's that bad,
Oh,
and
lovely.
I mean, yeah, and we have to thank Tim Burton for this. I mean, if it wasn't for Tim Burton and his stupid fucking idea, then we would never have had this crap fest. I mean, it's literally like someone took a bag, pissed in it, threw in some shit, got sick inside the bag as well, and then said, "Okay, here you go. Here's your Planet of the Apes movie." I mean, that's what it's like.
Thanks very much.
Like Tim Burton. It's like Tim Burton got Charlton Heston, which he did for this film.
Oh,
it's like Tim Burton got Charlton Heston and said, "Hey, Planet of the Apes, I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm gonna destroy the franchise."
Movie. All you have to do is lie on a bed, and I'll pay you for it.
Yeah, I mean, this film. I mean, I guess you were saying positives. I guess the production design is.
I disagree.
Okay. I mean,
I disagree. I mean, the sets look. I mean, especially the jungle set. That looks like so obviously studio, but that's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, you're probably right, but I mean, I guess one positive would be Charlton Heston. If
Charlton Heston cameo.
Yeah, but even then, you don't know. I mean, I watched it and I didn't even know it was him. I mean, what was the fucking point of him? What the fuck did he add to the movie? What the fuck did he add to the film?
Even when, damn them all to hell.
He should have damned this movie to fucking hell. He should have said to Tim Burton, "No, I'm not going to participate in your shitting of the Planet of the Apes franchise." And
Jack, I know why that Tim Roth has a beard, because Charlton Heston plays his father, and he has a beard too. You see?
Like, well done, Tim Burton. Now go fuck yourself. I mean,
I wouldn't put it past him. He probably has done it before.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that him and Helena Bonham Carter sort of fell in love during this film, I just find laughable. I mean, what did he see in her when she was in that ape suit? Did that turn him on? Did the fact that she was like jumping around like a fucking monkey, did that turn him on? Like,
You made him go bananas.
I don't know. Yeah, he went ape shit for her, He went, and
she'd like to peel his banana.
I mean, the one thing as well, I think, like that final action scene, who gives a fuck? I mean, you're watching it and you're just saying, like, I don't give a shit. Tim Burton doesn't give a shit. Like, so why should we care? Why the fuck should I care? And
Is
that
it
whole thing
better
with
than the final fighting battle for the Planet of the Apes?
yeah, it's better than that, but it's not saying much. I mean, at least we don't like get a fucking school bus, for this movie. Is it me as well? But it's like the ape's armor just looks really weird. Like it looks like something out of like a Tim Burton nightmare. Like the armor they're wearing in this film.
Yeah,
Like,
it looks like strangely medieval.
Yeah, and like that scene where he gets the gun off Charlton Heston, like he's like father, and like he goes after him, and that ending is such a cop out, like where the ape arrives and they're like, oh, it's Caesar or whatever his name is, like whatever it is. I don't think he's called Caesar. He's called Caesarius or some shite like that. And then
basically Caesar.
Yeah, and then you have that ending where Tim Roth's stuck in the he's stuck in a part of the ship, and yeah, and they find out the ship was actually the station from years ago. But yeah, he's stuck in the ship, and then he just leave him there, and that's it. It's like, well, really? Like, is that it? You're not even gonna kill him? I mean, he's just standing there in a fucking spaceship, shooting his gun and doing nothing. Like, wow, I really fucking care. And then when the monkey Caesar's shot, it's like, well, do I really give a shit? I mean, this monkey has been putting us through hell for two fucking hours. If it wasn't for this monkey, we wouldn't have had this shit. And if it wasn't for Tim Burton, we wouldn't have had this crap. I mean, and that ending is just, pathetic, where like he leaves and it's like, why don't you take the girl with you? Like, she's fit. I would take her with me. It's like, no, it's just like, bye. And then he goes back home and he arrives on Earth.
They were never even a thing, though, were they? They had a few glances, but they don't like kiss till the end. And it's like, oh,
yeah. I mean, there's no point in her, and the fact that she can talk.
She's a Nova ripoff.
Yeah, and like the fact that she can talk. Like, what does she add to the movie? Nothing.
Well, she has a couple of pair of stupendous babs, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah. She's there to get the primates in the audience.
She's there for the apes to milk her.
Yeah, I mean, the ending is just, like the ending is just hilarious. Where he arrives at like the year like 2000 or whatever it is, or 3000, and it's like he arrives and it's, instead of Abraham Lincoln, is all he said. It's Abraham Lincoln. And that ending is just like, oh my god. And then you got the cars. And you've got these police apes, these apes in police uniforms. You're just fucking laughing. It's like, are we really supposed to take this seriously? This is nowhere near as powerful as the ending of the original film.
Is that
the Statue of Liberty?
Is the ending meant to be a cliffhanger? Did they think they were going to get a sequel?
Yeah, they did. I mean, this movie made loads of money, and he was thinking of making a sequel, but he didn't. Thank God. I mean, it made enough money at the box office, but he never made a sequel, so I think it was supposed to be a cliffhanger. And thank God that was the only movie, because it fucking sucks. I mean, and and the way Abraham Lincoln to end the film off, it's just
Abraham Lincoln.
It's stupid. It's just it's dumb. It's really dumb.
So, like,
and you're just kind of like,
by any chance?
Oh, the soundtrack. What soundtrack? I can't remember anything from it.
A load of noise.
Yeah, it's just, you may as well just film some apes at a fucking zoo, and that would have been your soundtrack.
Man.
Yeah, and I mean,
overall, the soundtrack, was it Danny Elfman?
I think so. Yeah, but I mean,
how
could you go from Batman to that? Oh yeah, but I mean, sort of to sum it all up, I mean, Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. What else can I say? It's a pilot.
Oh, you loved it.
Yeah. I mean, 10 out of 10. No. Yeah, it's a masterpiece of absolute shit. I mean, there's nothing really more to say for me anyway. I mean, it's a pile of crap. It's Tim Roth gives the worst performance of his career. Tim Burton.
I've never seen a more blue-colored cheese in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen stinkier cheeses than this. You know, I mean, God, I mean, this film is so bad it puts King Kong taking his shit to shame. I mean, you may as well just flush this down the fucking toilet and forget about it. I mean, unfortunately, I've got the box set, so this film comes with the box set. So,
I got rid of my copy.
yeah. I mean, why would you want to keep it?
So wait, Jack, you've got the box set of all 8 of them.
Yeah, I've got all 8 of them in the box set. So,
Harry, what about you?
I own the rebooted Planet of the Apes movies, but I certainly don't own this one.
Do you own the first 5 of them?
I don't own the first 5 either. I really need to get them.
Fair enough. They're pretty cheap now. I think you can buy a box set for about a tenner or maybe a bit less than that on DVD.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll look into it.
I've got the first 7. I've got the first film to Rise on a box set, and then I've got Dawn separately. But yeah, I mean, just sort of closing off on this film, it's terrible. It's definitely Tim Burton's worst film that he's ever made.
Oh, really? You think it's his worst film ever made?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if it's the worst film I've ever seen, but it's definitely one of them. It's
down there.
I mean, you know, it puts the Planet of the Apes franchise to shame. If you thought Battle was a piece of shit, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, if you thought Battle was a shitty movie, then you haven't seen this. And, you know, to be honest, I have nothing more to say. I mean, Tim Roth is terrible. Helena Bonham Carter's terrible. Tim Burton should be fucking ashamed of himself. I mean, he really should. He should have fucking destroyed all copies of this movie because it is a fucking awful, terrible mess. And I'm going to give Planet of the Apes, yeah, you guessed it, 0 out of 10.
Woo! Yeah!
Woo!
Oh my god. You know, the sad thing is, though, Jack, there are some Burton fans that actually do like this movie. Or at least like it to an extent. They think it's okay, but really, why do they bother? So, from one person to another, Harry, what do you think of Tim Burton's reimagining of Planet of the Shit of the Apes?
Oh my god. Tim Burton, you fucking maniac! You fucked Planet of the Apes up! Darn you and your team to hell! Oh my god. I am gonna rant and rip apart a movie that thinks it's a Planet of the Apes movie, but it's not.
Is this a rant or an extreme rant?
Well, it's a rant, not quite extreme rant. I will explain in a minute why not, but I'm gonna rip apart and rant about a movie that thinks it's a Planet of the Apes movie, but it's not. Oh yeah,
it thinks it's a movie.
It thinks it's a movie, but it isn't. It's the shittiest installment of this franchise by far. Nothing else comes close. I thought Battle for the Planet of the Apes was bad, but this movie makes that movie even look good. Easily. Just, I mean, Tim Burton is a hit and miss director for me, but I love Beetlejuice. I love Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, but I'm not the. I think his remake,
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland was. I thought Alice in Wonderland was okay, but the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was completely pointless and unnecessary, and I can't believe he's actually going to fucking remake Dumbo in 2018.
Oh god, it'll be like a gothic Dumbo.
I mean, if it's anything like Planet of the Apes, I'll be bloody annoyed.
Planet of the Dumbos, Tim Burton.
That's exactly what it's going to be titled by the looks of it. I mean, I hope. Yeah, I'll be shocked if anybody likes that remake. I think it's going to tank at the box office.
It's going to be like Batman Begins, or like it's going to be like Batman '89, except it's a dark Dumbo. Like Dumbo gets a tattoo or something. He's like a dark edgy.
Oh yeah. what kid would want to see that? Yeah, and this piece of fucking ape shit is Tim Burton's worst movie, as Jack said, by far. I mean, Tim Burton, he just wanted to make his own Planet of the Apes movie for whatever the fuck reason. I don't
Basically
know.
a rave.
Yeah, exactly. A raise. Why don't we just remake Planet of the Apes for money? And
No, I meant rave, as in like people getting high. But yeah, that too.
Exactly. He obviously when he wrote the script for this thing, he obviously got so fucking drunk and was just scribbling down and making up a list of shit in one night and just and said, that's my script, because
you may as well have had Madagascar or something like that be the Planet of the Apes movie than this.
I don't actually believe there was a script. I genuinely think this is just a load of bits thrown together.
Exactly. There is no script. I'm surprised anyone can find somewhat of a story here.
Yeah, because a script.
You could call Tim Burton. You could call Tim Burton King Dong.
King Dong. Yep.
or Mighty Joe Dung. Like,
Mighty Joe Dung.
Movie's like a fucking dung heap.
Exactly. That's to call this
of the Apes.
Exactly. And to call this a script would be an insult to scripts. This is just literally a pile of shit. I mean, there's are there any positives to it? Well, I do only have
credits.
The end of the end credits. That was my favorite bit.
Yeah, mine too. When it was finally over and I could fucking breathe again and rejoice. But
would you guys say that this feels like a pilot for a TV episode?
Yep, a TV episode that never came. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine this on Netflix?
Oh God.
We cut half of it out.
I'll say. But the only tiny positive I'd have to give is that Estella Warren as Mark Wahlberg's love interest, she is hot. Wow. I mean, sure, she's just there to be his love interest and eye candy, and to make the apes who actually see this turd of a Mooney horny. But at least. So
that's why it's not an extreme rant.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay.
At least she was hot and was at least one microscopic enjoyable factor. But there's nothing else about this fucking movie I liked. It doesn't deserve any more positives. It's so fucking bad. My God.
Anybody remember that river action scene? The supposed action scene by the river.
Oh yeah. Just horribly done. And the action in this movie is a colossal fucking mess. It doesn't. I mean, it's even and more messed up than the action in Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Whatever action there was in Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Well, yeah, with whatever little action there was, but I didn't think it could be a step below. No. But it is. I mean, and I usually like Mark Wahlberg, but here he's just here to get a fucking paycheck. He gives as much charisma as a plank of wood. He's not even trying, and just
it's definitely one of his weaker performances, without a doubt.
We're an all-time high.
God, yeah, and I cannot believe that. I can't believe this shitty reboot has such a talented cast. I mean, Helena Bonham Carter. Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter. She's I usually love her. I mean, it's embarrassing that this was the movie where she and Tim Burton met and got married.
In a way, though, it kind of makes sense.
Kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, because her performance here is so fucking weird and crazy. She's ridiculously over the top, but just and their sort of romance, I don't fucking buy for a second. It's
oh god.
Oh yeah, and you don't even know who the fuck he's in love with. Is he in love with Estella Warren or Helena Bonham Carter? It's
Probably
never.
both.
Probably both. Yeah.
Threesome.
Exactly. It's one of This is one of.
It's gonna get hairy.
Gonna get hairy. Oh man, yeah. This is one of the shittiest love triangles I've ever seen in a movie. It's so lame, and
I guess this kind of prompts the question of, does Mark Wahlberg go for the more hairier woman or not?
Oh yeah, he's like.
You could say he likes a bit more than just a bit of bush.
Oh.
he's he's like Gimli from Lord of the Rings. He likes hairy women.
Oh no, God no! You know, you were talking about like this being a TV show. Could you imagine like it being on like with like David Attenborough? Sorry, yeah, David Attenborough like Planet
Hedge trimmers and trims the bottom Carter's. You know what?
Yeah, no. It's like instead of Planet Earth, it's Planet of the Apes, and now we have Tim Roth as a complete and fucking prick.
He went quietly in the bush, masturbating in the bush. With Helena Bonham Carter, who appears her pussy.
Golly, because you're worth it.
David Attenborough narrates monkey porn. What the fuck am I doing with my life? And I can't believe what they did to Michael Clarke Duncan, who is an excellent actor and
R.I.P.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, man. When he just ruins that great line, classic line from the original film, "Take your stinking hands off me, you damn dirty human." I was like, for fuck's sake, Tim
Is this
Burton.
still meant to be a homage or a parody? I'm very confused.
It's more like a YouTube parody than a movie.
How it should have ended Planet of the Apes. How it should have started. More like
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how it should have ended.
Student film.
Oh well, yeah. I can't believe this was actually a movie made by a studio, because mine is so crappy and beyond pathetic. I mean, like Ollie said, the jungle looks like one of those cheap jungle sets from one of the terrible Tarzan movies.
And the lion does indeed sleep tonight.
Oh, definitely.
You may as well have had Canon Golden Globus Canon Films make this shit.
Yeah,
same guys who made Superman 4.
Oh god.
Oh god, yeah.
The budget for this looks terrible anyway, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh yeah. I'll say, and I mean, as for Tim Roth, this might actually be Tim Roth's worst performance to date.
I agree.
Oh yeah, he was.
Is it even a performance?
I mean, Tim Roth's a good actor. You know, he was in Pulp Fiction. You know, Reservoir Dogs, Hateful Eight. You know, I mean, the guy's talented, and then he stars in this shit.
Yeah, what the fuck did they promise him? I mean...
Well, money, I imagine, but...
Yeah, he was also awesome as Emil Blonsky / The Abomination in The Incredible Hulk, I thought.
Yeah, he was actually one of the best things in that film, to be fair. I mean, the movie sucked, in my opinion, but at least it was good.
I really liked it. It's one of my favourite MCU movies.
Well, it's better than Ang Lee's Hulk. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, leagues. And but Tim Roth here, he is so bad, so cheesy, so fucking silly. You're never intimidated by him.
Rape face, like every single shot, he has like the creepy rape face.
Oh yeah, I've got to act like this, act really stoic the whole
I want to kill Helena Bonham Carter before Tim Burton gets to her.
I know it's I'm surprised he wasn't nominated for a Razzie for this performance alone, and Paul Giamatti as the orangutan. What the fuck was the point of him in this movie? What did he do? He was just there to be funny. He was there to be funny, but I barely laughed at any of his jokes. He
was there for the sex scene, wasn't he?
Oh God! The motherfucking sex scene. I'm like, Tim Burton, what were you on when you actually put
Apes on Pornhub?
with that in the script? He was on Pornhub. Now let's shoot porn only with apes and see how that turns out. Tim Burton, we are not stupid. I mean,
You're not savages.
Oh yeah, and just. I didn't give two shits about anybody in this movie apart from Estella Warren, obviously, but the other characters, I don't even remember their names.
Harry, would you say that Estella Warren is a bit of a Nova ripoff, as in Nova from the original film?
Well, yeah, kind of. She's the human love interest that the character falls in love with. In fact, Mark Wahlberg, he's a ripoff of Taylor from the original film too, but nowhere near as interesting. This movie is a complete remake and rehash of the original Planet of the Apes, but done awfully. It's
no imagination whatsoever.
Oh no, no, they just didn't care. They so dropped. They
meaning Tim Burton. Lol.
Oh yeah, just Tim Burton. Tim Burton. I expected you. I expect better of you. I really do. This movie. It looks like it has no budget whatsoever. It looks cheaper than fucking Battle for the Planet of the Apes. I mean, it looks
not as if that movie was expensive.
Oh no, this movie looks like it was made on a budget of $1. I mean, it's like a group of students wanted to make an internet parody of Planet of the Apes. Just why the hell can the humans talk? It was established in the original film that the humans couldn't talk because of the virus. So this movie, it's not connected to the original films whatsoever. So what was the point of it?
It contradicts.
Not only that, but if the humans can talk, doesn't that make them intelligent? So why would the apes cage them? They would understand everything that they fucking said.
Well, yeah, you'd think the humans and the apes would be fucking best pals in this movie. There's no logic to this script.
It's like Tim Burton sat down one night and just took a shit and then fucking put it on paper and said, "Here you go, executives. Here's Planet of the Apes."
Yeah. Imagine the apes and humans can both talk now. So where's the big conflict of this movie?
Yeah, there is no conflict. There's nothing to be engaged in. That's another problem with this movie. It's so goddamn boring.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, talk about a fucking snooze fest. I mean, I swear it was like watching an army of snails trying to cross.
Add in a fucking slug as well.
Oh yeah, slug.
Harry, you know what it's like? It's like that slug in Monsters University. He says, "I can't be late, not on the first day."
Oh yeah,
and he's running so slowly,
struggling to get to class. That's that's a great example. And yeah, just throughout this movie, it's a great way to put you to sleep. And I was dreaming about the great epic moments in War for the Planet of the Apes when Caesar takes the grenade and blows up the wall because
Harry, spoilers. Jack hasn't seen War yet.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But well.
Don't spoil it for me!
Yeah, yeah, of course. And also, just like Jack says, what soundtrack? It's non-existent. I mean, there's no iconic theme for this movie.
What they should have had. Sorry to interrupt. Jack, they should have had "Underneath the Mango Tree, Me Honey and Me."
the swing is down, jungle VIP.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Oh yeah, another. Oh yeah, just yeah. We could have had another version of I want to be like you. Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this movie is saying about to the original. It's like I want to be like the original, but it.
Well, yeah.
Wait.
I want to be. Yeah, it's saying I want to be like you, 1968 movie, but stop fucking trying to be movie because you're failing so epically. Come on, give me something, and just the final battle is a colossal fucking mess. I don't know who was whose side I should be on. I didn't give a fuck when any of them were killed off because I didn't know any of them. And the way Tim Roth was defeated, he's just trapped in a ship with his gun. I'm like that. What a big fucking anti-climax. And when Michael Clark Duncan's gorilla turns to the good side, what the fuck? How the fuck does that make any sense? He was a bad guy like a second ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no reason as to why he does it.
Well, yeah, there is no reason. He just changed side because the shitty script said so. That's
Oh, the humans won. I'm on your side.
yeah. I'm like villains.
Oh, so we're not damn dirty humans anymore. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that was fucking easy. So what was the point of making us watch that battle if it was that convenient? I mean, and
Harry,
yeah,
you know War for the Planet of the Apes. I'm not going to say the character's name, but there's another character who has a change of heart. That's much more impactful because you understand. They build up to it. They foreshadow it. You understand the reasons why this character changes heart towards the very end. Do you know who?
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about exactly.
Don't say the name for Jack's sake, but
that was actually that was actually an awesome moment, and it was building up to that. So I completely cheered when that character changed sides. But that is not the case in this one. I mean, and the ending. This is one of the worst, most god-awful, most biggest fucking cop-out I have seen in a long time. Just Abraham fucking Lincoln. So did Abraham Lincoln have a fucking twin brother that was an ape in history? Are you messing with that? I mean, did Mark Wahlberg, did he go forward or backwards in time? There's no explanation. Okay, and just it leaves you.
I believe it's forwards. I think they do reference it to be in the future, but it's not really very clear.
Well, exactly. It looks like the future, but if the humans and apes work together, why are there only apes on Earth in the future? It's such a terrible ending that never gets resolved. It's a stupid cliffhanger that sets up a sequel which, thank God, never came to fruition. Oh, I hate this movie so much. It is a piece of absolute garbage. Just Tim Burton. Thank God he's never made anything as.
I'm surprised his career kept going after this movie.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised he actually had the nerve to even continue making movies after this. Please, if there's any Planet the Apes fans, skip this movie. I mean, this is the only one that
Guys, if this was someone's favorite Planet the Apes movie, that would be interesting.
Tim Burton fanboy. Cough.
Exactly. Well, I actually know someone I actually saw someone on the internet that said they like this movie better than Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Can you believe
What?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Rise of the Planet of the Apes has a story.
Yeah, right. Rise of the Planet of the Apes had a awesome, thought-provoking story. Fantastic visuals.
True reinvention of the franchise.
Oh yeah, that was exactly what this franchise needed. After this, one of the worst, shittiest reboots of all time, I am gonna give Tim Burton's Not that it deserves to be called Planet of the Apes. You guessed it, 0 out of 10.
Oh, so you'll be buying your copy then?
0 out of 20 then so far.
I'll be buying my copy to fucking smash it with a hammer.
Money well spent.
Okay, guys. Expect a copy each next week. Send it now.
Oh, so it's a trilogy now. Oh, fuck.
Thanks.
Well, it will not surprise you to know in the slightest that I completely fucking agree. This movie, as Jack said, is a masterpiece. It is. It's a masterpiece. An unquestionable masterpiece of absolute shit. I mean, this, oh, fuck's sake, Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. It is truly a terrible mess of a movie. I despise this movie. I mean, I didn't like Battle for the Planet of the Apes, but this one turned out to be even worse. How, I do not know. For me, I just don't get it. Like, what the hell? This story is shit. Like, there's no story. Basically, astronaut crash lands on land, gets captured, escapes, big battle, boom, then it ends. Is that it? Well, fuck-a-doodle-doo. Oh, what?
Fuck-a-doodle-doo.
I mean, God's sake, there's no weight to this movie whatsoever. And as both of you guys have said, this movie completely contradicts the whole point of Planet of the Apes. The fact that, you know, it's a war to coexist with the two species. The fact that one of them is more superior in intelligence than the other. But no, both the species in this movie can talk. So there's no conflict. There is no story. They just fumble about. It's like a fucking ape rave when people they're just flipping around going, ooh, 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 ooh. Like everybody was on drugs. It's like Tim Burton just sprayed the film set with cocaine or ecstasy, and people were just, you know, dancing, and the camera was left on, and they just cut this thing together. It's basically a fucking rave, and I mean that. I mean,
the rough cut.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my god. I mean, the apes themselves in this movie. I'm sorry, I do not believe that these are the true depictions of the apes. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't believe it. If I'm wrong, then please. I don't believe that for 1 minute this is the true portrayal of apes. I just don't. And I'm not going to apologize for that opinion, because this is ridiculous. You know, when did apes become superpowers? When did they have superpowers? When did they become superhuman? They can just jump everywhere, go, ooh, 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 flip around. Yeah. They're almost like indestructible. Who the fuck? What the freaking fuck? Who wrote this movie? What? Oh, it's just ridiculous. It makes no lick of sense whatsoever. This movie has no logic whatsoever. Don't give a stuff about characters. I'm sorry, I'm Mark Wahlberg. I like the guy, but not in this movie. He basically gives a bland performance. You can tell he's not really enjoying himself in this movie. He's doing it for the money. And you know what, Mark? I don't really blame you. Take the money and get out. That's what I'd say. The other ones I don't really remember very much. I remember Estella Warren. She's kind of attractive, yeah, but the character is basically nothing. She's basically a Nova ripoff, as in Nova, you know, Nova from the first movie, except Nova who can. But yeah, and you know the romance that they try and develop between them is, well, pointless. Nothing. I mean, the story is just a mess. I mean, I don't understand. I don't have a fucking clue what's going on. Yeah, exactly. I don't have a fucking clue what's going on, and I'm just sitting there bored as fuck. This movie, terribly. This movie's 2 hours long. It feels like a fucking 4.5 hour epic. Ugh, it feels so long. I mean, the action when it's there is fucking shit. I mean, that river chase is just like. I think when Helena Bonham Carter gets in and, you know, tries to help them get across to the other side of the shore. Like, when did apes swim? Like, what? Nothing is explained in this movie. Tim Burton's direction is just appallingly directed. Not to direct a movie, you know. And I can totally see why Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter fell in love. They were made for each other. And, I'm actually surprised that they've divorced, but oh well. Who knew? Maybe he had enough of her ape shit. I mean, you guys said it. This movie's a pile of ape shit. It's just a pile of ape shit. There's nothing. The fact that they basically take the. It's more like a parody than a homage. They take the piss out of the first movie. Repeat, "Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty human!" What? No! No, I did not want. Oh, I did not want you to do that in the Planet of the Apes movie. It's okay to have references, but you know they take the piss. They take the fucking piss. And when Charlton Heston's, you know, scene, which is supposed to be an emotional scene, when Thade's father is dying, and then he says to him, "Damn them all to hell." What? So you're trying to emotionally blackmail us, and now you're trying to get a cheap laugh. What the fuck, movie? What the fuck? For God's sake. I mean, this is a really, like, this is the worst Stilton you could ever taste. Oh, my God. Just, what the fuck? I got nothing. I mean, the prosthetics are okay, but again, like, the beards just don't work. I mean, Helena Bonham Carter, this is probably her weakest performance of any film that I've seen her in. Yep. She sucks in this movie. She probably sucked Tim Burton's dick as well, but that's another story. Yeah, no, her performance is terrible. I mean, she basically whispers the entire film. I can't understand a bloody word she says. And I agree with what Jack said in his review, or, well, rant, that basically they tried to make her out as the new Zira of this reimagining. It really doesn't work. The action climax, well, it's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, there's a bit more Planet of the Apes, but that ain't saying much. And then the ending is a complete cop-out. So Tim Roth gets trapped inside the ship. Well fucking done.
There's no closure with his character whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I would have accepted closure as him having a shave at the most. At the very least, he could have done that. But no! And then they completely boycott the ending of this movie when Mark Wahlberg returns back to whatever time period it is to discover that the apes have taken over, and now we have Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I actually choose to see that ending as a parallel universe. Because in no way, shape, or form would Abraham Lincoln be an ape. What the fuck? What? Oh, I just completely lost it then. It made me so angry. I was just like, what? Oh.
I wouldn't be surprised if all of the fans just walked out of this movie after seeing Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, to be honest, the movie was nearly over anyway, so they probably thought, well, we might wait until the credits start. Not even the soundtrack can save this movie. The soundtrack is just weird.
Did you think the credits got a standing ovation?
Everybody probably threw their tomatoes at the screen. I mean, so the soundtrack isn't very good. It's just a load of noise, like some people banging on some logs or some bongos, like dum dum da 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 dum 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 dum. I can't even remember the soundtrack. That's how bad it is. I mean, Danny Elfman is normally a very good composer, but this is one of his weaker scores. It's just very unmemorable. The scores for the new films are a lot better, particularly War for the Planet of the Apes soundtrack. I think. Production design, cheap as fuck. None of it looks real enough. It all looks too... I mean, then the jungle set looks like a studio. It's so obvious. I just don't care about the story. There's this boring quest for these boring characters to break out of prison. How many Planet of the Apes movies have we seen that involve a fucking prison? You know, nearly all of them actually involve a bloody prison, which is actually one of the biggest cliches of this film series, is that nearly every film in this series has a prison involved, other than the Planet of the Apes.
Do you think
one does involve prison?
Prison bitch.
Sorry?
Do you think Mark Wahlberg would have been Tim Roth's prison bitch?
No, because I think both of them would have been Tim Burton's prison bitches. Yeah, and same with Helena Bonham Carter, although she would have enjoyed it and she would have asked for a whip. But anyway, as for this movie, I got nothing. I really got nothing. It's easily the weakest of the Planet of the Apes franchise, and it is technically non-canon because it is a reimagining of the series. It was meant to be a remake / reimagining, and it's so bad that it's pretty much irrelevant. It was a completely unnecessary movie. It was Tim Burton basically digging his paws into Planet of the Apes, saying, "Oh look, let me bring this back to life." No, Tim, no. I think he's a hit and miss director. When he's good, he's very good. He's very bad, and in this case, he's worse than very bad. Oh God, what can I say? I mean, again, pacing is terrible. This movie drags like a fucking snail. It is the Queen Bee Planet of the Apes franchise, and I can't watch it. I just can't watch it because it's too slow. And you know, the opening makes no sense as well on board the space shuttle. Like, what the hell are they even doing? Like, nothing's explained in this movie. And you know, there's no great political commentary in this film. I'm not saying it had to rip off the first one, but at least have some kind of political argument to make the story more interesting. For me, the story is just nothing. And oh God, fucking sex scene. I can't even say it without laughing. The sex scene is just ridiculous. I mean, when the orangutan is there, and then the female, she just like claps her hands, and then it starts like shaking her hands all the way up and down, and climbs on the bed. Oh God! Even the bed scenes that me and Jack do in our sketches aren't nearly as half as cringy as that. I mean, God's sake. So yeah, this movie's a ton of shit. You know, it is like the biggest pile of turd out of the Planet of the Apes movies. It's how do you make it feel worse than Battle for the Planet of the Apes? Well, maybe that was Tim Burton's mission. Like, let me make a crappier film of Planet of the Apes than Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Well, Tim, you succeeded. You succeeded in that respect. So I'm gonna close off by giving Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes a well-deserved 0 out of 10. If you want apes on Pornhub, you can come and watch this movie. Yeah. They should have. There could be so many alternate titles for this movie: Compost of the Apes, Apes, Rave of the Apes. You know, Rave of the Planet of the Apes, which is probably the best title for the movie. Oh God! I mean, and how would you rank the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes movies? Lol.
Well, at the bottom, I would put Tim Burton Planet of the Apes. Then that's it.
Harry?
Oh, it's at the very bottom. It's the epitome of the worst.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Isn't it funny? We got the reboot to the reboot with Rise.
Yeah, Rise
A
of the
reboot.
Planet of the
The reboot.
Apes. Basically, Rise of the Planet of the Apes was made to say "fuck you" to Tim Burton.
Yeah.
10 years,
Yep.
but it was worth it. I mean, that movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that's 1 hour 45 minutes. It moves so much quicker than this 2-hour piece of shit.
Yeah, that's 1 hour and 45 minutes of pure awesomeness.
And it actually tells a story.
Yeah, and it actually has a story, and it actually respects the original series.
I mean, Jack, you'd agree, like, compare this movie to Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Well, there were worlds of fucking apart. I mean, Rise, I would probably give maybe a 9. This fucking 0. I mean, Rise was everything that I wanted from the Planet of the Apes movie. I mean, it's a perfect start to the trilogy, and Dawn, in my opinion, even improved on that. And as for War, well, I'm seeing it tomorrow, so we'll see how this trilogy pans out. But I mean, as for Rise, no fucking contest.
Well, yeah, and obviously, I mean, I don't know if this is the worst movie ever made, but it is definitely down there. Like compared to other like 0 out of 10 movies, um, which one would you say this was worse than like Batman and Robin or Superman 4 or stuff like that?
I'd say Superman 4 is worse than this, but this is still pretty bad. What about you?
I may have to agree because Superman 4 just it did everything wrong. I mean this does everything wrong, but I think Superman 4 caused a much bigger upset than Planet of the Apes.
I think that's one of the. Did you say that's one of the only few movies that you genuinely despise?
Yeah, well, I did give it a 0 out of 10, so I hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
I would say Batman and Robin, and it's still a rubbish movie, but it's slightly better than this because it's so campy. You can at least enjoy how bad this is. Whereas Superman 4: Quest for Peace is slightly worse than Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, as that movie was so bad it was painful.
Yeah,
It was atrociously bad. I mean, filmmaking. Oh, God.
It was shitty filmmaking 101, Quest for Peace.
God. I can't believe Sidney J. Fury.
Yeah.
And
But
as
I
for. Yeah, go ahead.
but for me, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is even worse. I think that's the worst superhero movie ever made. Period.
I have to slightly disagree with you. I'd still go for Quest for Peace, but yeah, that's. It was on TV the other day, actually.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't bother to see it on TV. I've only seen it once and never again.
Yeah, once is enough for you.
Yep.
Well, I could definitely tell you. I mean, superhero movies. Is it just me? But like they tend to have really great ones and absolutely abysmal ones.
Well, yeah. They're a really mixed bag. I mean, but uh, but at least we have the Dark Knight trilogy, which is a magnificent trilogy on its own.
On Spider-Man trilogy.
Oh yeah, and Spider-Man trilogy, definitely.
Yep. Although I'm not a big fan of Batman Begins, but I do really like Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep. Uh. Oh. Oh yeah. I adore. I adore all three. But uh. Yeah. Uh. My God. I. Well, that was a enjoyable rant on Tim Burton's so-called Planet of the Apes. Hopefully, next time we will actually get to discuss the the great Planet of the Apes movies, the legitimately awesome ones, the ones worth talking about, the rebooted slash prequel trilogy, uh, Rise, Dawn, and War, which all three are terrific, by the way. Uh, uh, and it, I really think. I mean, uh, I cannot. I cannot believe that Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes even exists. I was like, what even is this when I saw it? So this is just it's shitting all over the original series. It's shit that Tim Burton pulled out of his arse. It reeks of no effort. It's just it's just I I despise it. I mean, I
I wonder where Ollie went.
I I I don't know. He's taking his time to come back.
Yeah, but as for Planet of the Apes, how'd you rank the trilogy, Harry, without spoiling it?
Oh, if I were to rank the trilogy, Rise would probably be the weakest overall, but it's still amazing, obviously. And Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is such a Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is a masterpiece, a terrific sequel that even tops Rise. And but War would be my favorite overall, and you'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm really interested, Jack, to see your reaction. Do you plan to review it, or are you just gonna?
Oh no, I'm gonna review it. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Because I know you saw Pirates 5 and you didn't end up doing a. I was just curious.
Oh yeah, I forgot to review that. I review that when the DVD comes out
No
for
worries.
Pirates. Yeah.
It's your channel. You can do what you want.
You know, I still haven't finished my Star Trek reviews.
What, you never got to Star Trek Beyond?
No, I was in hospital at the
Oh
time.
yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps up this hangout for Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. Ugh. Stay tuned. Yes, yeah. Need remind us of that fucking rave. So, thank you guys all for watching and listening. Stay tuned next time when we take a look at the rebooted trilogy. Until then, I'm MrTardis11. This is Jack. This is Harry, and see ya.